What happens when humans get mad? The universe has spent eons watching civilizations rise and fall, some vanishing into the void without a trace, others forging empires across the stars. But never has it encountered a species quite like humanity. We are a paradox, a species capable of boundless compassion, breathtaking creativity, and relentless curiosity. Yet beneath that, lurking just beneath the surface, is something terrifying. A fury unmatched by any other race. When humans get mad, the universe takes notice, and sometimes it learns the hard way. War, destruction, and vengeance aren't unique to humanity, of course. Across the cosmos, countless species have fought wars over territory, pride, and survival. But what sets humans apart is something far more dangerous: our sheer refusal to back down, even when faced with overwhelming odds. Our anger isn't just an emotion, it's a force of nature. It fuels innovation, strategy, and an unbreakable will to win. History has shown that when humans feel threatened, betrayed, or backed into a corner, they don't just fight back. They evolve, they adapt, and they make sure their enemies never forget the mistake of underestimating them. Consider the ancient Spartans, whose fury turned a tiny city-state into one of the most formidable military forces in history. Or the Mongols, whose wrath reshaped continents. Even modern history is littered with examples of humanity's sheer, unstoppable drive, when provoked. When the world underestimated them, the Wright brothers took to the skies. When war threatened their existence, nations unleashed scientific revolutions overnight, transforming the planet in ways that should have taken centuries. This pattern repeats itself again and again. Anger fuels ambition, and ambition reshapes reality. But what happens when that pattern extends beyond Earth? When humanity's rage is no longer confined to a single planet? In the vast, silent darkness of space, a new chapter in human history is unfolding. It starts, as it always does, with explorers. Pioneers who push the boundaries, not just of their own limits, but of the very universe itself. Some civilizations expand through diplomacy, others through conquest. Humanity? We expand because we must, because sitting still is never an option. And when we meet the unknown, we do what we've always done: extend a hand in friendship, or, if necessary, clench it into a fist. The first encounter with extraterrestrial life won't be a gentle exchange of ideas and pleasantries. It will be a test, a challenge, perhaps even a warning. Because the moment another civilization underestimates human resolve, the moment they mistake our patience for weakness, the universe will learn exactly what happens when humans get mad. Every great journey starts with a few brave explorers. Right now, HFY Chronicles-849 is just beginning, and your support means everything. If you enjoy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us grow this community together. The universe, vast and ancient, has witnessed countless species rise to dominance and fade into obscurity. Empires have burned, civilizations have collapsed, and the great silence between the stars is filled with the ghosts of those who once believed they were invincible. Yet, for all its experience, the universe has never encountered a species quite like humanity. Creatures who, when angered, do not simply retaliate, but innovate, adapt, and destroy with surgical precision. To understand what makes human fury so terrifying, one must look beyond raw aggression. Many species are warlike, many can wage destruction. But humans? Humans turn war into an art form. Our history is riddled with moments where rage became the catalyst for an evolutionary leap, both in warfare and in society. The moment an enemy forces humanity into a fight for survival, our species does not just respond. We transform. Think back to the Second World War, when the world stood on the precipice of darkness. The sheer scale of destruction could have shattered any lesser species, but not us. When humans got mad, they didn't just fight back. They rewrote the rules of warfare overnight. The Manhattan Project turned scientific theory into the deadliest weapon the world had ever seen. Entire industrial sectors pivoted within weeks, mass-producing weapons and technology that should have taken decades to develop. The wrath of a provoked humanity birthed an age of nuclear power, guided missiles, and intelligence networks that spanned the globe. In less than a decade, the world changed forever. Not because humanity wanted war, but because war forced us to evolve. Now, imagine that same principle applied on an interstellar scale. If history has shown anything, it is that humans don't simply endure adversity. We overcome it. The moment humanity steps beyond its cradle, the moment we brush against the civilizations lurking in the cold void of space, one universal truth will remain unchanged. Those who seek to dominate us will live just long enough to regret it. But what does that really mean? What happens when humans, as a united force, turn their fury outward toward an enemy that believes it holds superiority over them? The answer lies in our ability to weaponize not just technology, but our very mindset. Unlike many theoretical alien species, humans do not rely on a singular strength. We are not the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most advanced. But we are the most relentless. We blend strategy with brutality, innovation with ruthlessness. Take the concept of guerrilla warfare, a tactic that has humbled superpowers, dismantled vast armies, and turned the tide of wars throughout history. Humans do not need superior firepower to win. We need only time and determination. The Viet Cong, with limited resources, forced one of the world's most advanced militaries into a war of attrition it could not sustain. The Afghan resistance, with little more than terrain knowledge and unwavering defiance, wore down the might of the Soviet war machine. Humanity's fury is not just immediate, it is patient, calculated, and unyielding. Now picture an alien empire, technologically superior, viewing humanity as nothing more than another primitive species to conquer. At first, their warships descend. Like gods, their weapons lighting up the skies, confident in their dominance. They expect surrender. They expect fear. Instead, they get something far worse. They get a species that does not know how to kneel. A species that, in the face of extinction, does not just fight back, but studies, learns, and adapts faster than anything the universe has ever seen. Imagine an enemy that underestimates humans, believing their technology makes them untouchable. Then, within months, they realize their own weapons are being used against them. Their encrypted signals? Deciphered. Their energy shields? Bypassed. Their strategic advantages? Rendered obsolete by a species that refuses to play by their rules. And then comes the moment they fear most. The realization that humanity is not just surviving the war, we are winning it. It begins with small victories. A downed enemy vessel is reverse-engineered in record time. A captured weapon is studied, improved, and mass-produced. Human ingenuity, fueled by the fires of defiance, takes what was meant to destroy us and turns it into our greatest strength. This is how we have always been. We do not merely endure. We turn our enemy's strength against them. Perhaps the aliens will believe that brute force is the answer. They will escalate, unleashing devastation, thinking it will break human resolve. But that is their final, fatal mistake. Because human fury, once ignited, does not extinguish easily. It does not stop at survival. It does not settle for vengeance. It only knows one path: absolute, undeniable victory. And as the last remnants of an overconfident empire crumble beneath the weight of their own arrogance, they will understand a truth written across our entire history. When humans get mad, the universe pays the price. It starts with an insult, a slight, a misunderstanding. Perhaps an alien race, one that has ruled for millennia, stumbles upon humanity and sees nothing but an upstart species. Primitive, disorganized, unworthy of respect. Maybe they see our wars, our conflicts, our endless struggles against ourselves, and mistake them for weakness. Maybe they think our willingness to negotiate, to compromise, to seek peace first, is proof that we lack the backbone to resist. And so, they make the worst mistake imaginable. They push us. Perhaps they raid a colony, expecting fear and submission. Perhaps they blockade Earth, assuming we will fall in line. Perhaps they take prisoners, thinking they can break our will with force. At first, they are not met with retaliation, but with warnings. Then, as their offenses grow bolder, our patience wears thin. The first act of defiance is small: an attack on a minor outpost, a fleet that never returns, a sabotage mission that cripples an enemy supply line. The aliens scoff, believing it to be nothing more than a desperate, meaningless resistance. But then the escalation begins. They start losing ships. Not in great cataclysmic battles. No, not at first. Instead, they simply disappear. Patrols sent to human-occupied systems fail to report back. Supply convoys arrive at their destinations, only to find their colonies burning. Strategic resources are suddenly scarce. Logistical nightmares begin to unfold. They dismiss it at first, believing it to be bad luck, or minor inefficiencies in their vast war machine. But then, they realize something terrifying. Their encrypted communications are being intercepted. Their cloaked vessels are being tracked. Their greatest warships, unbeaten for centuries, are being targeted and eliminated with precision. Somehow, humanity has unraveled their technology, mastered it, and turned it against them. And then, the cold realization sets in. Humanity isn't fighting for survival anymore. Humanity is fighting for dominance. Think about the speed at which we innovate. When faced with an existential threat, human technological progress accelerates at an exponential rate. Wars that should last generations are condensed into mere years. When necessity fuels human ingenuity, entire industries shift overnight. The First and Second World Wars saw technology leap forward in ways no one could have predicted. The Cold War, born from fear and rivalry, propelled us into space decades ahead of schedule. Imagine that level of urgency applied to a war where defeat means extinction. Alien species that have enjoyed millennia of complacency, that have relied on the same battle strategies for centuries, now find themselves in a nightmare they never foresaw. An enemy that evolves in real time, adapting strategies, producing countermeasures, and learning from every engagement. At first, the war is fought in the void, in deep space where battleships clash and superweapons ignite the dark. But the aliens soon discover that the real horror begins when humans set foot on their planets. This is where the full fury of humanity is unleashed. We are not the strongest species. We are not the fastest. We do not have natural armor or claws or fangs. But what we do have is a level of endurance unlike anything the universe has ever seen. Our soldiers push beyond exhaustion, marching when others would collapse. Our minds, shaped by centuries of warfare, operate not just on instinct, but on logic, creativity, and calculated brutality. In the ruins of alien cities, human guerrilla forces use urban warfare tactics that defy explanation. Traps, ambushes, psychological warfare that leaves entire armies paralyzed with fear. And then, the reprisals begin. The enemy, realizing that brute force will not win this war, turns to terror. They target civilian populations, hoping to break human morale. They destroy our cities, thinking we will beg for peace. But they have not studied our history well enough. The more you take from humanity, the less you leave us with to lose. And a species with nothing left to lose is the deadliest force in the universe. The fall of an alien empire does not happen all at once. It is not a single decisive moment, not a climactic battle that changes the course of history in an instant. No, it is slow. It is methodical. It is a war of attrition that grinds them down piece by piece, world by world, until they are nothing, more than remnants of their former glory, until they are running, until they are begging, and then, when it is all but over, when humanity stands victorious, the galaxy will finally understand the truth. They should have left us alone. The downfall of the alien empire does not come in a single, decisive blow. No, that would be too merciful. Instead, it is a slow, relentless process, like a wildfire consuming a once mighty forest, leaving only ashes behind. The moment humanity stops fighting for survival and starts fighting for vengeance, the war shifts entirely. We are no longer defending ourselves, we are hunting. The alien species, once arrogant in their superiority, begin to fracture. Their leadership, so used to absolute control, starts making desperate mistakes. Some factions want to sue for peace, to end the war before they lose everything. Others refuse to accept that they are losing it all, convinced that one final massive assault will turn the tide. But they have already sealed their fate. Humanity has entered the next phase of war, total warfare, a concept that few species in the universe have ever had the stomach to comprehend. Total warfare is not about winning battles. It is about ensuring that the enemy can never rise again. Every strategic target is annihilated. Every supply chain is severed. Every industrial world, every shipyard, every command center is methodically dismantled. But we do not stop there. Humanity understands something that our enemies do not. Victory is not about breaking an army. It is about breaking a civilization. The destruction is not random. It is cold, calculated, efficient. The most vital planets of the enemy empire, the ones that hold their cultural and historical significance, become the primary targets. These are not just resource hubs or military outposts. These are worlds that have stood for thousands of years, homes to generations of leaders, scholars, and warriors. To destroy them is not just to cripple the enemy's war machine. It is to erase their very identity. Humanity begins a campaign of targeted psychological warfare so devastating that the enemy's own people start to turn against them. Alien civilians, terrified of what is to come, begin rioting. Their faith in their rulers crumbles as they realize the horrifying truth: humanity is not interested in peace. The war will not stop until it is we who decide it is over. The war should have ended long ago. The alien empire, once vast, once arrogant, has been shattered beyond recognition. Their fleets lie in ruins. Their colonies burn. Their homeworlds are silent graveyards. And yet, humanity does not stop. Because this is no longer about war. This is about making sure that no species, not one, ever dares to test us again. Word of humanity's wrath spreads faster than light itself. Across the galaxy, rulers, warlords, and leaders tremble in fear. They send their spies, their diplomats, their most trusted advisors to learn the truth, to understand why. What did the enemy do to deserve such complete annihilation? And what, if anything, can be done to ensure the same fate does not befall them? And so, one by one, the enemy's worlds begin to fall. Not in glorious last stands. Not in climactic, desperate battles where heroes rise to defend their people. No. They fall silently, slowly, their infrastructures collapsing under the weight of starvation, isolation, and fear. Humanity does not need to bombard every planet from orbit. Instead, we ensure that no ships come in, no supplies go out. We blockade their worlds and let time do the rest. We break their spirit before we ever set foot on their soil. And yet, they still do not understand. Some of their leaders, in their arrogance, believe that if they surrender, if they beg for mercy, humanity will grant it. But mercy is for those who understand limits, for those who know when to stop. The aliens had their chance at peace. They had their warnings. They ignored them. Now, the only thing left for them is reckoning. Entire fleets are abandoned as commanders defect or flee. Some of their greatest warriors, once proud and unshakable, choose exile over capture. And those who remain to fight? They do so not out of duty, but out of desperation. Even they know the war is lost, but they fear their own people more than they fear humanity. They know that if they run, their own leaders will execute them for cowardice. So they fight, not with hope, but with the grim knowledge that they are already dead. And humanity, we do not stop. We take their weapons and improve them. We seize their technologies and make them our own. In mere months, we surpass what took them centuries to develop. We begin using their own tactics against them, perfecting their strategies, and turning them into something even deadlier. We do not just defeat them, we consume them, absorbing their strengths while exploiting every weakness. And when the last of their great fleets is gone, when their leaders lie dead, and their empires are nothing but shattered ruins, we do not celebrate. We do not cheer, because we know the truth. This war was never about conquest. It was never about expansion. It was about sending a message that echoes across the void, reaching every civilization, every species watching and terrified. Silence. Do not provoke humanity. The galaxy watches, paralyzed. They had seen what happened when humanity was attacked. They saw the warnings. They saw the patience, the restraint. And then, they saw what happened when we were left with no other choice. Some will try to rationalize it. They will say the aliens brought this upon themselves. That they should have known better. that humanity was only defending itself. But deep down, they all know the terrifying truth. We are not the monsters they feared. We are worse. Because a monster kills without thought. A monster destroys without purpose. But humanity? We kill with intent. We destroy with precision. And when we are done, when the war is over, we do not bask in our victory. We move forward. The ruins of our enemies become the foundation of our new age. Their broken war machines fuel our industry. Their lost knowledge strengthens our minds. We do not dwell on the past. We do not seek revenge beyond what is necessary, but we never forget, and neither does the universe, because now, they know. They have all seen what happens when humans get mad. They uncover the records, the history, the warnings that were ignored. They see the moments when humanity tried so hard to de-escalate, to avoid war, to find peace. But the enemy refused to listen. They thought humanity weak. They thought us tame. And so, the galaxy watches as we make an example of them. Some planets are left in ruins, scorched and lifeless, abandoned to the cold void. But others remain intact. Not because of mercy, but because of something far more terrifying. Occupation. The remaining enemy worlds are not destroyed outright. Instead, humanity takes them. Not as equals, not as partners, but as subjects. Every surviving citizen of the fallen empire wakes to a new reality, one where they no longer rule their own fate. Their once mighty warships now serve humanity's growing armada. Their once proud soldiers now answer to human commanders. Their people, once accustomed to power and privilege, are forced to rebuild under our watchful eyes. And the worst part? We do not enslave them. We do not torture them. We do not commit the atrocities they once inflicted upon us. We do something far worse. We reshape them. We break down their beliefs, their traditions, their arrogance. We erase the notion that they were ever superior. We teach them, over generations, what it means to be weak, to be at the mercy of a force far greater than them. We install human governors, human laws, human values. We raise their young to think like us, to see the universe not through the lens of conquerors, but through the eyes of the conquered. And soon, they are no longer the empire that once sought to destroy us. They are something else, something lesser, a civilization whose entire existence is now defined by us. This is humanity's final, most devastating form of vengeance. Not extermination, not enslavement, but complete cultural annihilation, and the galaxy takes note. For the first time in recorded history, the great empires, the ones that have warred for millennia, the ones that saw themselves as the pinnacle of civilization, begin to reconsider their place in the cosmos. Diplomats, envoys, and rulers convene in secret meetings. They whisper among themselves, trying to determine what to do. Should they ally against humanity? Should they prepare for the inevitable moment when we turn our wrath upon them? Or should they do the unthinkable? Should they try to befriend us? Some species take the risk. They reach out. They send emissaries, gifts, messages of goodwill. And humanity, to their shock, responds not with hostility, but with warmth. Trade agreements are made. Scientific collaborations begin. Cultural exchanges take place, because despite everything, humanity does not crave war. We never wanted it. We only wanted to be left alone. And those who understand this, those who respect it, those who choose peace over arrogance, they prosper, they flourish. They find in humanity an ally unlike any other. A species that does not conquer for greed, but a species that, when pushed to the brink, will stop at nothing to ensure its survival. But the scars of the war remain. Even as humanity integrates into the galactic community, even as we forge new friendships and alliances, there is always an unspoken understanding. A lesson that has been burned into the minds of every civilization in the stars. It is whispered in the halls of power. It is written in secret records, passed from one leader to the next. It is the warning that every species, every empire, every kingdom must remember. Do not provoke humanity. Because the galaxy has now seen firsthand what happens when we get mad, and they know We do not forgive, we do not forget. We only ensure that it never happens again. The war is over, but the echoes of humanity's wrath continue to shake the foundations of the galaxy. The lesson has been learned, burned into the fabric of history. Yet the question remains, what comes next? The occupied worlds of the fallen empire exist in a twilight state between their former glory and their new reality. The once mighty conquerors, who had looked upon humanity as nothing more than another species to dominate, now wake each day under the shadow of their new rulers. They no longer speak of war. They do not even dream of rebellion. Those thoughts have been purged, not through terror or genocide, but through something far more enduring, through understanding. Humanity does not simply break its enemies, it remakes them. It forces them to look inward, to question everything they once believed. The elders of the defeated species still hold on to scraps of their past, whispering stories of lost supremacy. But their children are raised in a world where human strength is absolute, where their histories are rewritten, their traditions reshaped. The old ways, the ones that led them to war, are discarded, deemed relics of a shameful past. They do not just submit to humanity, they become something new. Some of them even begin to admire humanity, not out of fear, but out of a begrudging respect. They see how humans uplift their allies, how we protect those who stand beside us, how we extend kindness where others would demand tribute. And for the first time, they realize the true power of humanity is not just our ability to wage war, but our ability to forge something greater in its aftermath. But not all species are convinced. Some watch from the darkness, fearful, resentful. They believe humanity has become too powerful, too dangerous. They do not understand the difference between vengeance and justice, between defense and destruction. And so they plot. They conspire in the depths of the void, whispering among themselves, believing that if they strike first, if they learn from the mistakes of the fallen empire, they can end humanity before we turn our attention to them. They think themselves clever. They think they can succeed where others have failed. But they do not realize one thing. We are already watching. Humanity has not spent its time in peace idly. The scars of war have made us cautious, vigilant. We have seen what the galaxy is capable of, and we refuse to be caught unaware again. Our spies walk among their kind. Our listening stations intercept their messages. Our AIs predict their moves before they make them, and when they act, when they finally make their move, believing they have the upper hand, we are already there, waiting. The battle is over before it even begins. No fleets clash in the void. No planets burn. No wars rage across the stars. Instead, entire governments fall overnight. Rulers vanish, replaced by those who understand the new order of the galaxy. Armies surrender before they even fire a shot. Those who plotted against humanity do not even get the chance to fight, because they were never the hunters. They were always the prey. The galaxy finally understands. It is not that humanity wants to rule. We do not seek dominion. We do not hunger for empire. We have no interest in enslaving or subjugating others, but we will never allow ourselves to be victims again. And so, we watch. We wait. We ensure that the fragile peace we have carved into the stars remains unbroken. Some call it tyranny. We call it survival. Because there is a truth that no species can deny. A reality that all have come to accept. The universe is not kind. It is vast, cold, and merciless. The strong thrive, and the weak are devoured. But humanity has proven, beyond all doubt, that we are not prey. We will never be prey. We are the storm, the fire, the unyielding force that shapes the future. We are the reckoning, and the universe will never forget what happens when humans get mad. The galaxy has changed forever. Empires rise and fall, civilizations expand and collapse. But one truth remains unshaken. Humanity endures. We are no longer the naive explorers who once gazed at the stars in wonder, unaware of the dangers lurking in the void. The lesson has been taught, the warnings delivered, and the universe has learned, sometimes through whispers, sometimes through blood, what happens when humans get mad. But what does that mean for the future? Many would assume that after proving our might, after breaking those who sought to break us, humanity would march forward as conquerors. That we would take the galaxy for ourselves, ruling over it with an iron grip. But that is not our way. That was never our way. Instead, we watch from the shadows, not as tyrants, but as guardians. The universe is not a place of peace. There will always be war. Always be those who seek dominion over the weak, who believe strength is a license to oppress. But humanity has become something more than just another species among the stars. We are the silent force that keeps the galaxy from consuming itself. Where corruption festers, we send our agents. Not armies, not fleets, individuals, trained in ways the rest of the universe can scarcely comprehend. They slip through the cracks of reality, appearing where they are needed most, toppling regimes before they can become threats. Where oppression spreads, we give hope. Not by force, but by inspiration. The oppressed look to humanity and see something they have never known before. A species that has walked through hell and emerged stronger. A species that does not bow, does not break. And that idea alone is enough to spark revolutions. Where destruction looms, we intervene. Not with reckless force, but with calculated precision. Entire wars are ended before they begin. Fleets vanish without explanation, and those who would dare challenge humanity often disappear into the void, never to be seen again. It is not magic. It is not omnipotence. It is simply preparation. Because, while the galaxy may have learned to fear humanity's wrath, it is only those foolish enough to test it that will ever experience it firsthand. And those who do, never get a second chance. The legacy of humanity. As the centuries pass, humanity's name becomes legend. Some see us as saviors, protectors of the fragile balance that keeps the galaxy from descending into chaos. Others view us as specters, the silent watchers in the dark, ensuring that no species ever dares to rise against us again. And there are whispers, whispers of things unseen, of shadows moving where there should be none, of battles fought in secret, where entire armadas vanish in the blackness of space, their enemies defeated before they even knew they were at war. Some even believe humanity has ascended, that we no longer exist as mere biological beings, but as something more. A force woven into the very fabric of the cosmos, ensuring that those who would bring ruin upon the stars never get the chance. But the truth? The truth is far simpler. We are still here, watching, waiting, ensuring that the cycle of violence never again turns its gaze toward us. We do not seek war. We do not crave conflict. We do not desire dominion over the stars. But if the universe ever forgets what happens when humans get mad, then we will remind them, and this time, there will be no mercy. The universe has been warned. Now, the choice is theirs. That concludes this epic tale of what happens when humanity is pushed too far. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit like and subscribe to HFY Chronicles-849 for more thrilling narratives about humanity's place among the stars. Leave a comment below. Do you think the universe will ever truly learn its lesson? Or is another war just waiting on the horizon? Your support fuels these stories, and together, we are building something incredible. Stay tuned for more. The next adventure is just beginning. The echoes of humanity's fury reverberate across the vastness of the galaxy, each vibration a reminder of the universe's darkest lesson. Humanity does not forgive. Not easily, not quickly, and certainly not when our very existence has been threatened. As the last remnants of the fallen empire fade into the blackness of forgotten history, what remains is something far more powerful, something that the cosmos will never forget. Yet, even in this newfound era of galactic peace, the question still lingers. Is humanity truly at peace, or has it simply become a more terrifying force than ever before? We've shown the galaxy that we are not to be trifled with. Our wrath when provoked is absolute, and though many across the stars might claim we are a threat to their sovereignty, those who understand us see something entirely different. We are not an empire. We are not conquerors. We do not seek dominion over the cosmos. We are merely the guardians, the invisible, unyielding force that ensures the peace is never broken in the way it once was. The galaxy's political landscape has shifted. Those who once thought they could challenge humanity, whether through deceit, sabotage, or brute force, have learned the consequences of underestimating us. The empire that sought to devour us is no more. The military might of those who dreamed of enslaving humanity lies in ruins, and in its place, a new order has emerged. One that cannot, and will not, ever let the flames of war consume the galaxy again. Humanity's victories are not marked by grand displays of power or massive invasions. Instead, they are quiet. They are measured. They are surgical in nature. But every time we strike, it is a reminder to the universe that we do not act out of vengeance alone. We strike to ensure that peace is maintained at all costs. We strike to ensure that no species will ever feel comfortable enough to again threaten our survival. In the places where human ships travel, there is peace. Where once, warships were a sight of terror, now, they are symbols of security. There is no need for weapons to be drawn. No need for fleets to clash in space. Humanity has perfected the art of influence. We do not conquer with steel. We conquer with ideas, with diplomacy, and, when needed, with precision. The very concept of war is now alien to us. It has become the last resort, a final act to be employed only when every other avenue of peace has been exhausted. It is the philosophy of humanity that distinguishes us. We do not wage wars for the sake of control. We fight to maintain balance. We fight to protect what we cherish. We fight because we have been through the fires of conflict and have emerged stronger for it. And that strength, tempered with wisdom and mercy, has allowed us to build a lasting peace, one that is founded not in fear, but in mutual respect. This is the true power of humanity. The ability to break and then rebuild, the ability to adapt and evolve, the ability to learn from our mistakes and ensure that we do not repeat them. The galaxy may never fully understand the depth of what it means to be human, but it will never forget the consequences of underestimating us again. But this is not the end of humanity's story. This is only the beginning. As time passes, new challenges will inevitably rise. New species will emerge, some friendly, others hostile. There will always be those who seek to test us, who will try to topple the fragile peace we've built. But humanity has learned to expect the unexpected. We've learned to read the signs, to anticipate the threats before they materialize. And in the face of any new conflict, humanity's response will be clear. We will not falter. We will not hesitate. We will not allow our way of life, our values, or our very existence to be threatened again. We are not a species that can be cowed. We are not a species that can be broken. For the galaxy now knows, when humanity gets mad, it is not just a force to be reckoned with. It is the very force that keeps the galaxy in balance, the storm that makes sure no one ever again tries to tip the scales in their favor. Yet, there are those who fear the power we now wield. They see our resilience as a threat, not a virtue. They believe that humanity's strength will lead to domination, that we will use our power to crush others underfoot. But those who think this fail to understand one key truth. Humanity does not dominate, we protect. We have seen the worst of what the universe can offer, and we have risen above it. We are not interested in empire. We are not interested in subjugation. We are only interested in survival. In ensuring that our children, and the children of all who live in the galaxy, will never have to suffer the way we once did. So the question remains, what happens when humans get mad? The answer is simple. The galaxy remembers. The universe changes. And those who would rise against us are broken, not through our wrath alone, but through our resolve, our unwavering commitment to ensuring that peace, however fragile, is never again threatened. Now, the galaxy looks to the future, not in fear of humanity's fury, but in awe of the strength we have shown. The greatest lesson the cosmos can learn is this: humanity may never again be the victim, but it will always fight for the defenseless, always stand for justice, always, in the face of overwhelming odds, rise. For as long as we breathe, the galaxy will know that when humanity is pushed to the edge, it will not bow down. We will rise up, not with violence, but with the power of unity, purpose, and an unwavering will to protect what matters most. And so, we end this story with one final, irrefutable truth. The universe will never forget what happens when humans get mad. They will remember, and they will learn to respect us, because humanity's strength lies not in what we take, but in what we protect. And that is why, in the end, the universe is ours to defend. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you've enjoyed this tale, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know your thoughts on humanity's place in the cosmos. What do you think the future holds for us? Will there be another challenge, another great war to test our mettle? Or has humanity proven, once and for all, that we are the true masters of our destiny? Together we will continue exploring the universe and all its mysteries. Stay tuned for more. The next chapter is just beginning.